Hi everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So for this week's scraps cards, I'm going to do 5 very easy sketch cards. What a sketch card is literally that. You have a plain piece of paper and you just sketch out roughly where you would like to have your pattern paper, your sentiment, maybe some embellishments, and then you choose your pattern paper and put it all together. So it can be anything you want. You can mix shapes, you can add embellishments, like I said. And the idea is that they're supposed to be quick and easy. So sketch cards are always very good if you're just starting off in card making. I would always direct people to a sketch card. There are thousands upon thousands of free sketches on Pinterest. So if you just literally type in sketch cards for card making, you will get absolutely tons of ideas. And I know there's lots of Facebook groups where you can join like weekly and monthly sketch challenges, and that person will design a sketch and then everybody submits their versions of it. It's a really fun thing to do. So I do highly recommend doing sketch cards if it's something new, but also sketch cards are perfect for the front of any kind of 3D card. So you just want to do some quick decoration on the front, but the idea then is they display it open, but you still want it to look nice when they take it out of the envelope. And they're just great for batch making, and also if you do any kind of fairs or anything and you want to sell little note cards, then the sketch cards are really good for that as well, and loads of other things. So these are the scraps that I've decided to use. I always like to mention which ones they are. This is from a design pad one. It was from the works or the range. It was just some that I'd used on that big pop-out card. This one has got a mixture. I do actually need to sort this out because I've got florals and stars and stuff, but I've just pulled out this one here. This is the Dovecraft Secret Garden. I've pulled out this circus one here, the Craft Consortium one. It's a really nice set, and I had so many pieces here that I wanted to use. And then this is the pretty still new, it's the First Edition Oh So Sweet papers. So that's what I'm using today. So the first one we use is the Circus collection from Craft Consortium. So these are all going to be on 6x6 cards, but sketch cards will work on any size card that you like. You just need to change the sizes of all of these elements. So here's my 6x12 piece of cardstock. Along the 12-inch side, just score at 6 inches. If you've got pre-made, then they'll be fine. And then I've cut this piece here, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and I'm going to stick that one down over the top. And then I've got all these pieces here. So the idea is I'm going to have these 4 strips, which vary slightly in width, and they're going to go right across the middle, like so. And then I've got this larger panel, which is going to go through the middle towards the bottom. And then I've taken some of the tickets there as embellishments. I'll add them in a minute. And then this is where my sentiment's going to be. And I'm going to have it offset. And I'm going to punch a 2-inch circle. This is 2 1/4 diameter, 2-inch circle in the middle, and then I'm going to stamp roll up, let's celebrate. This is from my Fun at the Fair stamp set, and I thought it would work really well with this. So all of the pieces that I've used here, the height or the length of them is the same. So the red is 5 1/4 and the pattern is 5. You'll then want, this piece is 1 1/2 and then the pattern is 1 1/4. Then this one is 1 1/4 and then 1. And then the red here is 1 and then 3/4. And then this one here is, the red is 3/4 and then the pattern is 1/2. So I've dropped them down by the width by 1/4 inch on each piece. This one here is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. Then the pattern is 5 by 2 1/2. I'm going to stick those directly onto the card. This one I'm going to pop up on some foam. Some people ask why I use the foam. It's just for dimension. That's it. I just think sometimes it's nice to lift certain elements up. Plus, you can also then tuck pieces behind if you want to. So if you're doing like a floral card, if you pop some stuff up on foam, you've got room then to pop like leaves and all kinds of other bits that you might want to decorate it with. So I'm going to get these stuck down and I'm going to get my sentiment stamped. And there is card number 1 finished. Very, very quick to do. And like I said about adding the foam, just allows you to then, you know, for me, pop those tickets underneath with ease. And it's just nice to give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, so card number 2, exactly the same, 6x6 card blank, and I'm just sticking this piece 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 on the top there. If you want to emboss this, you can. But again, I'm keeping them very, very simple. So for those people that, like I said, are just starting up, maybe don't have things like that yet, still make these cards look really pretty. So what I've gone ahead and done is cut these pieces here, which measure 1.5 squared for the purple, and then the pattern paper is 1 1/4 squared. So I've used that Secret Garden. I've just made sure I got one of the flowers in the middle. And what I'm going to do is have them running along this top corner. And I'm going to stamp the big thank you here. And then I've got these strips here, which are 1/2 inch by 4.5. And they're going to go underneath. And again, raised up on foam. Just the strips, and then I'm going to stick these directly onto them, so they look like they're kind of floating. So you want to kind of position this. I've cut it so that it will, you don't want to see the ends, you just really want to see the little bit in the middle there. And then again, this one's going to go under there. You want it to be the same, like distance apart. You get what I mean, like this. Okay, and then once I've stuck the strips down, I'm going to stamp the sentiment and then just pop those on top. And this is the thank you one. This is a Dovecraft thank you. It's probably still available. I know a lot of these older stamps tend to be on Amazon, but you see that thank you is going to go right in the middle there, and I'm going to use a purple ink for this one, I think. So I'm going to remove these because I can see where they need to go, so we can just kind of square those up now, so you've got that nice right angle. I've just got my foam strips here, so we'll do this one Festival. So put that one there, because once I've got this one in place, then I know where to put that other one. Just make sure it's perfectly straight, and then again do this end here. This one can go right up there, and again just pull it down so it's nice and parallel with the side of the card there. And now these can just be stuck directly on top, and when I hold it up when it's all done, they will look like they're kind of floating. It's again a really lovely effect, but actually I can stamp it when these are stuck on. I would stamp it before, like put these down and then stamp it, but I don't think I'm going to get any ink on these. You watch now, it's going to happen, but it should be fine. So I'm just going to pop some glue just in the middle there, and then I know that that one's going to stick. So get that one stuck first, because again, you want to make sure that you've got it a nice equal right angle here. So I'm just making sure that white border is lined up. And then again with this one, in fact, if I do the end one first, get that one with a similar kind of white border there, so it matches this corner, and then this one you can just line up so it's in the middle of these two pieces here. That looks about right. And then I'll have that larger one at the bottom. So again, I'm just going to make sure that I've got that same white border in the corner here. And then that one just needs to go in the middle there. So I'll do the glue that way, like so. I'll just bring that up now. See that really lovely effect that you get. So now I'm just going to stamp that sentiment. So that's it now with the sentiment. I think it looks really nice. Again, you could add little embellishments down here, up here if you wanted to. You could have a bow on there. It's entirely up to you. I think that looks really nice. So I'm just sticking this 5 3/4 piece again onto my 6x6 card blank. And these are the papers and everything from the Oh So Sweet. So for this one, I've just got all these strips, and these are 3 of the images from some of the scrap from the paper pads. So I've just cut them out. And I'm going to stamp, I think it's going to be the Have a Sweet Birthday. So the idea I had for this one, I've got to remember what orientation I decided now. So basically I've cut myself 2 strips of, all of the widths are the same, so they're all 3/4, but you want 2 pieces that are then 4 for the green here for me, and then this piece is 3 7/8. I've just dropped these down because if you notice I've stuck it right up to the one end but left that nice border around the other. So the idea I had, I think I ended up going this way. So you want the pieces to line up with the white card. So I've got the longest ones there, they're going to be on the outside. I think this is the way I went with it. Otherwise, I'll just move the card around. Then I've got 2 pieces of, again, the 3/4. These are 3 1/2, and then the pattern is 3 3/8. So that's 2 pieces. So that's the next size. So one's going to be there, one's going to be here. And then these pieces are 3, and then it will be 2 7/8. And they're going to go like so. And then I was going to have my sentiment in one of these spaces and then these in another. But I think now I did change the orientation so it was that way. So I can just make this a side fold. Let me just grab my sentiment. Have a sweet birthday. That's going to fit in there nicely. And then those will be popped up on some foam, something like that. Yeah, I think that's going to work quite nicely. So I've already put the foam on the back, and again, like I said, just focus on that side and line it up with the white. Once you get the first one down, just make sure that it runs nice and parallel, because everything else is then you're going to line up then with that. And if you're slightly wonky with the first one, then you're going to find they all start drifting off in one direction. So again, I don't want to get my head in the camera. So, and you don't have to add the foam. So if you don't have any foam pads, don't worry, it will still look nice just stuck directly onto the card. But you just get that natural shadow when you add your foam, so it just lifts the card a little bit. And now I'm just going to add a few embellishments just along. Don't want to do it that way. I do them coming up, so you always want to kind of work in odd numbers when you add an embellishment. So I always tend to go for 3 when I do something like this, but 5, 7, so on. That just will look quite nice. There we go. And then with this one here, I'm actually going to place it down here. It's got a nice space. I mean, it could go, let me just see. Yeah, no, I think I prefer having it down here actually. There we go. So that's card number 3. It's really pretty. I love the little bit of shine there. And then you've got all that dimension with the strips. So for card number 4, I'm not going to add a large matte layer. I'm just going to be sticking straight onto my card blank. So I've got these strips here, which are 1/4 inch by 5 1/2. These can be any width you want. You don't have to have them as thin as I've got them, but I'm going to have 3 of them quite close together on the left hand side, like so, and I'm going to stick those directly onto the card, so I'm not going to add any foam. I've then got this piece here. Oh, actually no, I'm going to stick this piece next, which is going to be on foam along with all the other pieces. So this is a piece of 5 1/2 by 1 1/4, and I'm going to have this one roughly about there. Just make sure you get the ends like the same kind of border along with the tops of these as well. And then this square here is 3 by 3, and this is going to go there. The idea as well with sketch cards is you want everything to be offset so it all overlaps nicely, so you get to see, you know, all the pieces underneath. And then I've got these small circles which I just cut from different dies. So there's a 1 inch circle, that's a 3/4, and this one, I mean, a half would be fine. Mine's 3/8, but just a few that are staggered down. And these are almost like your embellishments. So I'm going to have maybe, it might change, but something like that. Let's flip that one over so it's a little bit different. There we go. And then this one is another circle. This is a 2-inch circle, and this is where my sentiment's going to be, and I'm going to have it, I think, about there, and it's going to be a thank you, and I'm going to use this large one. So I'm going to get all of that stuck down. And then I'm just going to finish this one off with some enamel dots, and I'm going to pop them. I don't think I want any more on the white. I'm actually going to add these. So they're kind of disguised, but I think it's just a nice extra. 2 different colours there. There we go. And that's card number 4. A really simple one, just using lots of different shapes. It's got more of an abstract feel to it, but quite clean. Really like that one. And then for card number 5, again, I've got my 6x6 card blank with that piece of 5 3/4 over the top. And then I've got these 5 strips here, and I'm going to add foam on the back of all of them. And these measure 1 by 3, and then the pattern paper is 3/4 by 2 3/4. So 5 of those, and I'm going to have them running along the top, but all slightly different heights. Well, actually, 3 of them are going to be the same, and then 2 of them are going to be like dropped down slightly. Again, focus on that white border if you're using white card like myself, and just make sure you get them all kind of equally spaced. And then I've got these little hearts, and they're going to fill the space here. If you don't have hearts, you could put a little embellishment there. You might want to stamp a heart. It might not even be hearts that you're using, but you can pop anything in that space like so. And then I thought this one could look quite nice as a wedding card. So I've got Mr. and Mrs. And this is from a Fest edition. I've had this for years, and it doesn't say anything else. Oh, actually, maybe it's at the bottom. Let me just pull that up so you can see. It just says Sentiment 7. Again, I'll see if I can find it, because there's a really lovely heart there as well. But the font for these is really nice. So I've just die cut them all 3 times, and I've just stuck them on top of each other, so it's quite dimensional. So I'm going to have something like that. And then I think I'm going to add glossy accents onto the top. But I thought that looked quite pretty. So I'm going to pop all this up on foam, but I'm not going to pop the hearts up. I'm just going to stick them down because they're already quite dimensional, because again, I die cut a few. So I'm going to get this one finished. Okay, so that's everything stuck down. You can see the glossy accents there. Hopefully it's catching the light. Just gives it a little bit more texture. It's nice to add a little bit of shine there, and you've got the sparkle on the hearts. But I just thought it was quite a nice, fun way just to do those 5 panels with that lovely pattern paper. So that's all of the cards. So I'll just come back and show you them all again. So that was card number 1. I really like that one. And then number 2. I think that's a really cool effect. Simple, but very effective. And then card number 3. And then card number 4. I think this one might be my favourite. I really like that one. And then card number 5, which is still drying, which you've just seen me do there. So I hope you've enjoyed the 5 cards that I've shared with you today. I'll link as much of the product that I've used today in the description box below. As always, let me know which one's your favourite. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5? And let me know if you enjoy the sketch cards, because maybe it could be something that I feature a bit more, because it's perfect for using your scraps. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be back again next week. Bye.